Progressive Magazine, Exercise 3 and 4. At the speed of 120 words per minute. Get ready. Take down. That does not mean that I dislike language being a very important matter in our administration or education or culture. I recognize that the language of the people is a vital matter for their development, whether it is education, administration, or any other matter. But there is a distinction between developing the language to the fullest extent and this passion for building up a wall around a linguistic area and calling it a border. I completely accept the statement that people cannot really grow except through their language. But it does not follow that in order to make them and their language grow, a barrier must be erected between them and others. The various language areas in India represent the development of history through the ages. But drawing a hard and fast line between two areas is, I think, carrying it too far. As a matter of fact, it does not matter where you draw your line. If you judge a border purely from the linguistic point of view, you will be going against the wishes of many people. Invariably, there are bilingual areas. As long as you cannot prevent people of one state from going to another, there will always be bilingual areas. Are you going to stop, contrary to the dictates of the Constitution, the movement of workers or of other people from one state to another? You cannot. Therefore, whatever fixed line you may draw, people on one side may be attracted to the other and move there, and thus change the linguistic composition of the state or of the border area. Are we going to sit down every few years and say the language ratio of this particular tehsil or taluk has changed and therefore it should be taken out of this state and put into another? You must realize that while there are clearly marked linguistic regions, there are also bilingual areas and even triangle areas between two such regions, and wherever you may draw your lines, you do justice to one ground and injustice to another. From the language point of view, good reason, good logic, and good argument can be found for each side of every case. This is the difficulty. If there was logic only on one side, we can do we can decide easily, but there is logic on both sides and the two logics conflict and the same to be balanced. You may balance them and say that one argument is stronger than the other, but generally, if the case of one side appears better, the case of the other side seems pretty good too. Maps and census figures have become the fashion now. Are we to weigh in a balance how many individuals speak one language and how many speak another? It will lead to all kinds of fantastic situations. I submit that we must consider this matter separately from the question of language. Of course, all the great languages of India, which are mentioned in the Constitution, have to be developed. I would go a step further and say that even those in the northeast frontier area and elsewhere ought to be developed. Further, the development of one language should not be and cannot be at the expense of the other. I am convinced that the development of any one of the great languages of India helps the development of the other languages. It is my privilege, however unworthy I might be, of being the president of the Sathya Academy, started a year or two ago, where we deal with all the languages of India and try to encourage them. The more we discuss these matters, the more we see that encouragement, development, and growth of one language result in advantage to the other Indian languages also. Going one step, I would say that the knowledge of a foreign language helps the growth of an Indian language. If we are cut off from foreign languages, we are cut off from the ideas that are contained in those foreign languages and from technology, which is part of modern life. Therefore, let us not think of excluding a language. Quite frankly, I do not understand the way some people are afraid of the Urdu language. I am proud to speak Urdu and I hope to continue to speak Urdu. I just do not understand why, in any state in India, people should consider Urdu a foreign language or something which invades their own domain. Urdu is a language mentioned in our constitution. I object to any narrow mindedness in regard to Urdu. It is no use dragging philology into these language controversies. Take the Punjabi language. We have heard learned arguments about the origin of Punjabi and the Gurumukhi script and how far it is connected with Hindi and so on, as if the source was of paramount significance. What matters is what people do today. Let scholars go into the past of Gurumukhi and Hindi. If people in the Punjab or elsewhere wish to use it, let them use stop.